The summer of 1914 began with a deceptive warmth across the European continent. To the casual observer, the world was more interconnected, prosperous, and civilized than it had ever been. The global economy was booming. Steamships, railways, and telegraph cables had shrunk the globe, weaving a dense web of commerce and culture. London sat at the financial centre of this global network, its banks funding enterprises from the Americas to the Far East. In Paris, the Belle Époque was at its peak, celebrating art, philosophy, and architectural grandeur. Across the Rhine, Germany's factories hummed with an unmatched industrial vitality, churning out steel, chemicals, and modern machinery at a pace that rivaled and often surpassed Great Britain. Even in distant Australia, young citizens of a newly federated Commonwealth enjoyed a high standard of living, tied by deep bonds of loyalty, culture, and trade to the British Empire. Yet beneath this polished veneer of peace and progress lay an incredibly unstable geopolitical architecture. For decades, the great powers of Europe had been trapped in a relentless, silent arms race, constructing an intricate system of secret alliances and military timetables that transformed the continent into a geopolitical powder keg. Europe was divided into two armed camps, the Triple Entente, comprising Great Britain, France and Russia, and the Triple Alliance, anchoring Germany, Austria, Hungary and Italy. These alliances were not merely defensive agreements, they were rigid legal mechanisms that guaranteed a localized spark would instantly ignite a continental conflagration. The primary driver of this systemic instability was Imperial Germany's profound geopolitical insecurity. Under the ambitious but erratic rule of Kaiser Wilhelm II, Germany had embarked on an aggressive foreign policy known as Weltpolitik, a demand for a place in the sun, alongside older colonial empires like Britain and France. To secure this status, Germany built a massive, state-of-the-art high-seas fleet designed to challenge British naval supremacy. This naval build-up deeply alarmed Great Britain, forcing London to abandon its traditional policy of isolation and draw closer to France. Simultaneously, Germany found itself haunted by the spectre of encirclement. To its west lay France, deeply bitter over the loss of Alsace-Lorraine and eager for geopolitical revenge. To its east lay the vast industrializing Russian Empire, with its bottomless reserves of manpower. German military strategists became obsessed with the belief that a two-front war was inevitable, and that time was running out before Russia became too powerful to defeat. To solve this strategic dilemma, General Alfred von Schlieffen drafted Germany's definitive war plan. The Schlieffen Plan assumed that Russia would take at least 6 weeks to mobilize its lumbering military machine. Therefore, in the event of war, Germany would launch a lightning-fast, overwhelming strike to the west. By sweeping through neutral Belgium, German armies would bypass French border fortifications, encircle Paris within 40 days, and force a French surrender before pivoting east to confront Russia. The terrifying flaw of the Schlieffen Plan was its lack of flexibility. It treated mobilization as an irreversible declaration of total war. The moment Germany pulled the trigger on mobilization, it was logistically committed to invading its neighbours, regardless of diplomatic efforts.